I'm organising and co-hosting the longest ever variety show, which is a world record attempt, where myself and Adam Knox, my co-host, are attempting to host the longest ever variety show according to the Guinness Book of Records.
Okay, now you've done something pretty similar to this in the most recent comedy festival, didn't you?
Yes. So it's sort of inspired by a show that Adam and I and Andy Matthews did at the Melbourne Fringe last year and Comedy Festival this year, called the World Record Show, and the premise of that show is that Adam and I and special guests compete as we try to break crazy, silly, and often made up stupid world records. For example, like the world's fastest 2-minute mile, which is the furthest distance walked on stilts made from 2-minute noodles.
Right, yeah.
The world's most temporary tattooed man.
Yeah.
Oh, the fastest time to get an erection and play Baker Street on saxophone.
Right.
While sitting in a booth with the whole audience looking at you. It's very awkward, very, very awkward. But then at the time, I said to Adam, I really want a real Guinness World Record. And we stumbled across the longest ever variety show.
Okay.
Which is like a marathon record. Doesn't sound that long. It's only 12 hours long. And I was like, 12 hours is not that long in comparison. So we applied for the world record. And we're like, great. We know heaps of people that can come up and down. But there's all these rules, like all the acts have to be between 2 and 10 minutes exactly. MCs can only be on for 5 minutes max.
Right.
And no performers, apart from the MCs, can repeat throughout the thing. So once you're on stage, you are out for the rest of the day. So I was like, awesome. I know someone that's a stand-up. They're also a sketch. They play musical instruments. So we'll get them up for 3 spots. No dice. So we've had to organise 85 different acts, and they all have to come at the exact amount of time. So I'm not sure if we're actually going to make it, but...
You just do that. Just do like show and tell and call that variety. You just go kaleidoscope, speak of one.
Everyone have a look.
So, yeah, just pass it around. Take your time.
That's my 10-minute act.
Yeah. Does it have to be funny?
It doesn't have to be funny, but it has to be of a standard. And then they say there's all these rules. They just have to outline all these guidelines. One of the things is it has to be of a proficient performance standard.
What is that?
And Guinness has the right to say that wasn't good enough, that kind of thing.
Are you serious?
But I don't know what.
So if you've got enemies in Guinness, they'd just be like, no.
Nah, the third act, 10 hours in, rubbish. Worst comedian I've seen. Wasn't funny.
Yep.
Cross it off.
Amazing.
There's some serious acts in there.
Okay.
Some poetry in there.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. I've got there's a karate performance.
Thank you.
There's a 40-person choir.
Great.
Hang
on. 40 people get on stage?
Yeah.
And sing?
Get up and sing.
Dave Warneke.
Someone who has signed up, and I'm so excited for this, and I got them to fill out a form, and it's like, describe your act. Experimental sounding / experimental singing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but I'm so excited to see that. Yeah. There's rap. There's a couple of rappers.
Amazing, man.
People doing like instrumental music. Stand up, a lot of burlesque, and my favourite part about the burlesque, it's like, in the form, anything else we should know about your thing? I will need someone to pick up my clothes after the act. And I'm like, okay. All right, if that's what you need, all right, we can arrange that, yeah.
Do you have weird riders? Like people handing you a rider?
I wish. That'd be so good. It's like, I have to do 85 different styles of combos of M&Ms.
Yeah, because that's like an act in itself. It's just like, our act actually pulled out, but I have his rider right here.
Oh, right here. Yes, I know you could read that out. The one reason I chose this world record, because like I said, I was pretty naive. I thought, 12 hours, that's not that long. I know heaps of people. It'll be easy. I won't have to train to be able to hold my breath for 16 minutes underwater. Yeah. I won't have to walk on glass or do something like actually that requires a lot of hardcore talent. I was like, I'll leech off the Melbourne comedy and the Melbourne Fringe scene and get all these acts together. Yeah. They'll do the hard work and I'll just host it. But after spending about 1,000 emails out, I'm like, no, this is actually... I should have just held my breath for 16 minutes.
I like how this is the equivalent in hospitality of a double shift, but for comedians, it's just like a world record.
Yeah, that's what I know. It's just like, people work 14-hour days, many days of the week, but this seems like a big deal.
Yeah. You started off in stand-up, didn't you?
Yeah, started out doing stand-up.
Doing like musical comedy sort of stuff?
Yeah, that's kind of how I started, because I started out in a band. Like for years in high school, that was my dream, was to be a rock and roll superstar. Still could get there, guys. Still could get there. And so I played in bands for years, and then I went solo, and I wrote some solo songs, and they were pretty terrible, not a very good singer. And then I discovered comedy, and I was like, there's people that do musical comedy. And then I did some solo gigs where I was supposed to be a musician, but I just sort of improv in between my songs, and it was way funnier. It was way better, and I hadn't even planned it than the shitty acoustic songs I was playing. And I was like, I'll just make the songs funny.
Right.
And then I tried that for a bit, and then, to be honest, the ideas for the songs just dried up, and I just like, I'm just going to talk. So then
Yeah.
I've just, it's evolved from that.
It's really interesting to see people's roots because like your one starts in like trivia and like hosting trivia for actual.
Yes, I also should point out that is, I guess, why I thought, without ever hosting a quiz show, I think I could be a kind of guy that hosts a quiz show, if that makes sense. So I feel like, a lot of comedians have those great ideas, but they just never think I could actually do that, or that kind of thing. But yeah.
Is there some truth to that? Not their skill aside, is there a lack of opportunity, do you reckon, to put these sort of things on? Or, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess there is always a financial risk.
Yeah,
if
right.
you do put on a show.
Because it's outside of category, or?
Well, I just think you're just not sure if it's going to work. And I feel like people think, there's a precedent for all that. Well, everyone else is doing a stand-up show. I can do a stand-up show. They just think that. But I think they think, but if I do a second show as well, suddenly, obviously financially, that's just doubled your costs. And you think, not everyone's doing that other thing. I'll stick with stand-up because that's what everyone else... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, I want to copy them. It's just like, I think stand-up works. I'll do stand-up, yeah.
Is there some format that you've done in the past that you've just been like, I will not do that again?
I'm trying to think. There's nothing that I've done that I was like, nah, that didn't... No, nothing terrible.
No regrets?
No regrets.
Great.
No regrets. Yeah.
You've done trivia hosting before. You do a lot of the panel shows. You're obviously really good on camera. You don't play heavily with stupid old studios. You do the stand-up as well. Where do you find a home?
My favourite thing is when I'm hosting the quiz show.
Right.
The Facty Fact.
Yeah.
When I'm in there, I don't know, I just feel like I'm a bit in my element. And I've just gotten better at it. Like, now looking back, what I thought was good then, when I first started, probably isn't good now. It's just like, when it's so good. It's like stand-up feels so good when it goes well.
Yeah.
You know that, but that's when I feel like, this is it.